Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Shamsi and I'm a remedial therapist, play therapist who's a trainee at the moment. And here I am interviewing three lovely ladies. Rabia, would you please introduce yourself? A brief introduction of how many children you have, what do you do?
My name is Rabia Aziz. I'm a mom of three. I am a therapist, a trauma therapist, and I am also a moderator and motivational speaker. I work a lot with the community, and I'm also the founder of Special Needs Pakistan. And I'm here for you today.
What about your children?
Well, my children are being looked after their dad, so support systems in their life.
How many do you have?
3. Aryan is my eldest, who is 13, and then there's Alia, who's 10, and Elena, who's 6, going on to 42.
Good to know. So Hiba, could you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your work, your profession, and your children.
Thank you for having me here. I'm Hiba Masood, and I am a mom of 4. I have a teenage boy, 14, and then 3 girls, ranging from 11 to 3. And I run 2 organizations, Drama Mama and DearMuslimKids.com. And basically my work involves using theater and story to teach the children.
Lovely to know. Fawzia Sheraz, could you please introduce yourself and your children and your profession and what do you love doing?
Thank you very much for having us and having me. My name is Fawzia Sheraz. I have 3 kids. They're all above the ages of 18. I have a master's and a bachelor's in computer science. I run a tiny homeschool for my son who is on the spectrum, and he has 3 other kids who are also on the spectrum with him, and we have fun all day long.
That's good to know.
He's running at top speed. Nobody can touch him. I'm running after him to find out where he's running to, and then everybody's kind of corralling around him and saying, and then he goes to somebody who loves him, who treats him beautifully, and that's where everything comes together. So that was when he was 3, 4, 5. It's a uphill battle.
And
Like
how about
what she
now?
said.
How about now?
Alhamdulillah, now he's 18. He turned 18 this year. Alhamdulillah. And so many challenges fall away as they grow older. I think it's more us realigning and recalibrating ourselves to what normalized life is. I was just talking to Joel today. I said, what is normal life? What is a normal child? Everybody has challenges. Everybody works through them. We worked a little harder. We tried to find it. We didn't have a path blazed in front of us. Now she is blazing many, many paths. But, we didn't have anybody to go to. We only had a doctor who said, this diagnosis, now do whatever you have to do. And doctors need to be a little more compassionate as well. They need to, hand-hold you when your life is not ending, it's okay. And alhamdulillah, support groups, there's so much help, so much compassion, so much empathy. It's hard. It's a hard life where you're trying to find the best for your child, like every other child you have. But they need more support, they need more love. And what I've learned in the 18 years that I've had Taha is loving your child, whichever kind of child you have. A neurotypical, a mischievous, a special needs child. Every child just needs unconditional love. Just love them, hug them, kiss them, play with them, and they will grow into a wonderful individual.
Well said. Well said. Coming from a very loving mother. Thank you for sharing that. So Hiba, if I ask you the same question, because
She said everything.
I know, it was so comprehensive.
It was comprehensive.
But before even coming to you, I was thinking, and while she was talking, I was thinking that this question actually means, it can be a very in-depth answer for you because you raised Abdullah in Dubai and then you moved to Pakistan.
Right.
And we all, and I'll speak for myself, lovingly followed your page, Drama Mama. all your
And the
stories
chaos.
all of the stories that you shared
Yeah.
about him, and all the challenges and all the little things that you did with him, which actually left a really big impact on mothers all around the world who were following you.
Right.
So how has it been like coming from Dubai to Pakistan? How has it been raising Abdullah?
It's been a journey. Like Fawzia said, she really covered everything. So we were in Dubai when the sky of the diagnosis that falls on you that we received in Dubai. I mean, we had our suspicions and inklings, but he was my firstborn, so we were definitely clueless. We were just like, intelligent hair. Like that's all we could see.
Which
We
he
couldn't
is,
see.
which he is.
Yeah, we could see that he could read and write and all that, but
Yeah.
all the holes and gaps, I think. I always think, did we miss it? But anyways, he was 3.5 when we got that diagnosis. And from what I have observed with all the other moms of spectrum kids, especially boys that have come to me, because I've, in my personal capacity, tried to help a lot of people through advice and stuff. And now I say that the ages of 3 to about 8 or 9, that is the actual dark period, right? That is when you've just gotten the diagnosis. You're lost, you're looking, you're finding your path. You're feeling very alone, and you're feeling very aage kya hoga, right? And those 5-6 years are very intense on the family overall, but definitely on the mother, who, for whatever many reasons, shoulders the most burden and responsibility for, solving this issue, right? Coming up with solutions, strategies, teachers, resources, all that. It is in the middle of that we actually, because of him, well, not entirely because of him, but he was one of the reasons we left Dubai. We had wonderful therapists from Ireland, from America, from England, Australia. There were wonderful, wonderful women who worked with him. It was just not affordable for us. The prices in Dubai for like half an hour of therapy, and you're looking at the bill and you're like, I cannot sustain this, right? And you can't just give half an hour once a week. You need that intense thing. So we moved to Pakistan for that reason. And if I were to really microanalyze it, I would say there was a lot of, like I was saying earlier, doors being closed on us. And again, this is 10 years ago, right? So a lot of ignorance, a lot of this. But I completely agree with what she said. There is so much warmth in the people here. So जहाँ ignorance है, वहाँ at least warmth बहुत ज़्यादा है. They might not have the skills and the training and the outside exposure. And even to this day, sometimes I look at therapy happening abroad and they feel light years ahead of us, right? And it's like, oh, कैसे ले आए यहाँ पे, right? Inshallah, I'll get there. बहुत progress हो रहा है, no doubt. But for now, I mean, I guess they cover it with warmth. वाकई यहाँ बहुत मोहब्बत, love, warmth आपको मिलती है यहाँ पे. In terms of schools for us were largely not enough. Again, we got all the warmth, but that's not good enough. I need to feed that brain of his, right? I love him. And I always appreciate it, but I needed that. Help him become who I think he's capable of being. Help him fill the gaps here. School, the intellectual and educational journey was not satisfying for us that way. So we homeschooled, and maybe we would have ended up homeschooling anywhere in the world. So I don't know if this is a Pakistan issue per se. Therapies and all, I just follow with other parents. कि बहुत यहाँ progress हो रहा है. Back in the day, I was not satisfied. So we did slowly reduce our reliance on therapists. And we'll walk the diagram whether that was a good call or not such a good call. You just try things, right? Or hindsight में थोड़ा सा समझ आता है. I think all of us, special needs moms, we are just real time, just that Rabia ने कहा कि real time problem आती है, real time solution करना होता है. You don't really have the liberty of mulling it over too long, or hindsight or foresight आगे भी नहीं नजर आ रहा. So अपनी किस्मत अल्लाह की मेहरबानी, लोगों की दुआएं, whatever it is, right? Like that, you just keep taking the next step. So for us at this point, I would say Karachi has been great because now he is entering the teenage years. I need to set him up for board exam, success के उसको road पे धक्का देना है किसी तरह. तो यहाँ जो tutors की plethora and rated and reviewed कि आप इस teacher नहीं उस teacher, I think it's only possible in Karachi. I would not be able to find that outside. So that is, I'm finally able to give him the very personalized learning journey he needs. So for us, that way, I think Pakistan is the place to be, and I'm so happy to be raising him here at this time.
So it sounds like that, and I hear you when you say that it has been a challenge, but in all that empathy and in all that love and unconditional holding, you also, it seems like you found a balance for your child and for yourself.
And for myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I say this
I'm so happy to hear that.
unequivocally that my work would not be possible if I was not in Pakistan. Pakistan has given me so much कि मुझे अब उसकी तरह शिकायतें करते हुए बहुत मुश्किल लगता है because
a lot of parents and children love you unconditionally.
No, I'm just saying the country, like we want to talk about कि मुल्क के हालात ये वो.
That's the system.
That's
not the people.
I
It's the system.
personally have benefited so much from Pakistan, and this country, the people has given me so much that I've been more of a taker than a giver, and I want to be a giver more. I want to do more for our people. And
How long has it been since you were back?
6 years now, right? 7 years. 6 years.
So small story, if I may. This is about 8 months before Hiba was deciding that she's moving back from Dubai.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you remember that breakfast we had at Zappers. You sat there and you were like, am I doing this? Because I have my mom here, I have my dad here, I have all this support. And I know you miss them dearly. And now to see the children and the woman that she is, and she was always going to be. It's amazing.
Hindsight नहीं आपको देखना चाहिए. You should turn around and look back at your journey. Like she reminded me of the doubts I had, and right now I'm speaking with such surety. It was the best decision, to move here and things, and it's just.
Yeah, I want to add, without you and your guidance, we would have never been able to start.
I remember our conversation, and you jumped first, remember?
Yeah.
You jumped into it before I did, but I was like, this is the way forward.
Yes, you knew.
Theoretical knowledge.
I think it was actually a very, it actually became something very congruent for a lot of mothers who were quietly doing maybe homeschooling. Hiba Masood's doing it, Drama Mama is doing it. So why not?
Just Zaria
It was like an
we're all like Zaria for each other, right?
And that unconditional dissemination of
it became a normal thing
of not hoarding on to the knowledge,
Yeah,
because
yes.
what she did for so many moms was not just कि ज़रिया या सहारा, was also बताना कि सुनो मैं इस तरह से कर रही हूँ, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
But and that became such a thing of beauty because so
I know
many
we're making
people,
it a bit awkward for you, but it's okay. You can breathe.
I'm just.
that's all I'm saying. Glad you feel that.
इनको तारीफ बहुत ज़्यादा हजम नहीं
No, but I
होती
want to tell you that the giver thing that you just spoke about, you told me follow his lead, which was not something that I was going to do. But when you said that, it kind of put everything into perspective.
Yeah.
And even now, when I have, besides the hire of the 3 other kids, we follow their leads. And everybody's at a different pace,
Yeah,
of
of
course.
course.
But it's so much more interesting to see how fast they progress when you follow their lead.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for. I mean, it sounds like मैंने को बड़ा इनको सिखाया, but these ladies have been the leaders in so many ways, and I'm looking at you.
आप तीनों जो है ना वो self-taught है. That is my very humble opinion.
I like what you
On
said
a
about
lot of
real
you are
time.
self-taught.
And I think this is something I would, young mothers, if any young mothers are watching this, I would say, unfortunately, there is no time to rest. Be on your feet and go. While the attitude, he will keep you going, basically, and inshallah get you to a good place.
for yourself and for them.
Absolutely.
For yourself first and then for them, because there is going to be, the energy is going to keep producing. I mean, it's really amazing to say कि इस वक्त मेरी capacity में, like she said in hindsight, but इस वक्त मेरी capacity में ये है. बहुत सारी माएँ जो सुन रही होंगी कह रही होंगी कि इन्होंने इंग्लिश बोल रही हैं, कपड़े अच्छे पहने हुए हैं, किस तरह ये इस जगह पे पहुंचे
कर सकती हैं.
जो एक्चुअल मसले मसाइल हैं आम औरत के, वो अगर बर्दाश्त कर सकती है वो मसले मसाइल, तो फिर उसको कोई नहीं रोक सकता, because it is very very tough surviving in a patriarchal society जहाँ पे आपको सबसे पहले आपको पीछे खींचने वाले आपके घर वाले होते हैं, आपके ससुराल होते हैं, and not to take away from those supportive ones, because supportive भी होते हैं, but सबसे पहले जो आपको remind कराती है औरत या औरतें या ख़वातीन कि तुम ये ठीक नहीं कर रही, are the women who are around you. You know, so
मैं बिल्कुल agree कर रही हूँ, and I always I don't know if this is a therapeutically correct stance, but I'm just telling you how I kind of face my life is circumstances बहुत खराब है बहुत सारे लोगों के, और मेरे भी अपने जो challenges हैं वो, लेकिन no one can take my mindset away from me, right? My mindset and the mindset I would encourage other people is of that fighter mindset, which is not to say don't feel your feelings or the grief of diagnosis and the trauma of just survival. लेकिन एक चीज होती है feel your feelings और एक चीज होती है अपनी feelings में ही drown हो जाना, right? और suffocate हो जाना और अपने आप को stop लगा देना. I hope people don't do that. Feel your feelings and then keep moving with
And
them.
Hiba, I feel that drive in you, which you just spoke about, and is also something that your mother instilled in you. And I've had the privilege of knowing her as a child, as an adult as well. Her spirit is actually, literally shining through.
वो कोई active teacher नहीं थी, वो instill उनको कोई नसीहत नहीं,
I
that's
remember
she was a very quiet lady.
Yeah.
But I saw her, right? I was a witness in her life, and I think that's the
amazing
beauty of.
appetizers.
Her spirit was very strong.
I hope that's what our
Still,
children.
I went there for the food.
Yeah. She was a wonderful person.
So I mean, हमारे बच्चे भी हमें बस witness करें, right? This is what I hope.
Yes,
Our children are witnessing us moving through our life.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did to my mom. I was just watching her. And she wasn't teaching me actively anything. But I saw her, how she juggled with the traumas and the challenges she faced.
And you.
So I hope,
That's
So
a really
Rabia, coming
important
back to you. I'm
point.
sorry, you were saying?
So
Go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
I just wanted to inject and add mine to it.
Go ahead.
It's a really important point that she's made, because somebody recently told us that when we were voicing our concerns about children and how aajkal ke bacche jo hain, they're too soft, they can't handle stuff and all of that. And they said, listen, if you are living your life according to those standards, your children are watching you, and they will inherently, without knowing, absorb that. The energy, the drive, the focus that you have in your life. So if you're a model for your children, they will get it. You don't have to worry about that part, ke honge nahi honge, soft ho jayenge, karenge nahi karenge, stuff like that.
So Rabia, coming to you, and thank you for that insight. So Rabia, coming to you, how has it been for you? And I know you have 3 beautiful children, but
I love them very much.
Similarly, eldest is my favorite. But I hope he doesn't hear this. Yes. So, how's it been for you raising them and then having Rabia and raising her in Pakistan?
I think having children in itself is such a transformative journey for a woman. I think we give it very little respect and credit in our country, in our society. जहाँ पे Mother's Day
discounts लगे हैं हर जगह.
आज का दिन मनाया जाता है, एक दिन. But वो माँ जो round the clock काम कर रही है, काम पे भी जा रही है, घर वापस आ रही है, she's looking after the home, she's looking after everybody else, and then maybe if she finds some time, she'll look after herself. And I've already said that, learning from my children has been, I think, the greatest treasure that I could possibly win. But last night my husband said something to me, and sorry for bringing this up, Ashil, but I think मैंने उसके 16 साल की उसकी जो sins थे माफ कर दिए in one night, because he said to me last night, हाँ ऐसा भी होता है.
I need to know what he's
कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि फिसलती है.
I really need to hear this.
And he said to me, you have been the most phenomenal role model for our children, and I am so lucky for that. फिर उसने ये भी ऐड करा कि because of me. It is because of me also, because it's our compatibility. I was like, you need to go see my therapist. But I think eldest being 13, so in the 14 years of motherhood, I feel that I've been lifted and thrown to the ground, then lifted, then thrown to the ground. And every bone of my body has kind of felt that shift with every child. And yet, when Alia happened, it was like, I have nothing in my control. मेरे कंट्रोल में कुछ है ही नहीं. मतलब, you know, मैं किस तरह अपने आप को समेटूं और फिर मैं सारे chaos को समेटूं जो इर्द गिर्द हो रहा है. And that breaking feeling had come in because every child, you know, I think Fawzia was the one who said that every person is living with their own challenges and their own struggles and difficulties. But when you see a child with so many medical interventions required, surgical interventions required, you think, where am I gonna get the strength from? ठीक है, माँ जानमाज पे गिरी हुई है, वो दुआएं मांग रही है अपनी बेटी के लिए, बाप is running here and there, everybody is like hustling around you. लेकिन when do you start seeing yourself as a pillar of strength? And when do you stop asking yourself, why me? And I think in my journey of motherhood, one of the questions that I've been asked again and again and again from other mothers is, but Rabia, why me? Why you? Why wasn't it the other person? And every time I'm asked that question, my eyes become, you know, teary because I don't have an answer to that question. The only thing that I've learned, and I keep reminding myself and I keep relearning it, is my life is my life and my children's lives are their lives. Unki life equation mein, it's them, their journey, which is equal to their life. I'm nowhere in that equation. I'm nowhere in that journey. मैं सिर्फ एक peripheral advocate हूँ जो बाहर से चल रही हूँ, जो सिखा रही हूँ. शायद मुझे देख के वो ज़्यादा kind बन जाए. शायद मुझे वो देख के कचरा ना फेंके. शायद मेरी आवाज़ सुन के उनको पता. But अभी भी there's so much more that I learned from them. Where they say, are you sure you're feeling okay? Because you seem to be like not looking okay. And I'm like, no, I'm feeling fine.
And I must say he's very intuitive when it comes to that.
Oh,
Yes.
So he's told you too.
Yeah.
So Aryan Bera इनका favorite है. बेचारा वो कहीं छींके मार रहा होगा इस वक्त. From Alia, I have learned that continuous learning is really a thing. Smiling through your struggles is the most important thing that you can do because that
And also spreading that smile, Rabia. I mean, SMP, we can't talk enough about it. The kind of work that you're doing, and I know that you're doing above and beyond SMP a lot. But
we have had that pre-discussion.
Yeah, but let's stay with the kind of support, the kind
It's
of
a rope.
presence.
She's thrown a rope to
literally.
thousands
Just
of
a
parents who
rope
are
of
like
hope.
drowning, right?
A rope of hope. I come across so many parents who come to me asking for, हम क्या करें, हम कहाँ जाएं? I just say
Start there.
SMP.
Start
SMP
there.
join करें and just look for other options that your child might be good at, if not academics.
You know, I think I know कि थोड़ा सा सवाल से हटके है, but एक point था October 2013, and I'll never forget this. And I think I may have said this so many times in so many talks and shows and everywhere I go. लेकिन एक होता है the support that you're born with, which is your family, friends, mentors. एक होता है जब कोई random इंसान आपके पास आके आपका सहारा बन जाता है. And for Alia, there were these hundreds of angels which came and just held me. You know that strength that I was talking about? From the moment that she was born, I remember Saira Yasin was sitting outside of my son's Quran class, and she came and she gave me this thing which said, "Mothers are angels on earth for children." And I was like, why are you even talking to me? I'm here crying with like stitches ripping apart, and you're like talking to me. And then I go to a clinic and a mother gives her chadar to me and I'm feeling nursing in public. And then I get onto a plane where I'm throwing up incessantly while my kids are like, oh God, please take her away from here. And then this beautiful Dallas family, जिनको मैं कभी नहीं मिली थी, कभी नहीं जानती थी, उन्होंने 5 साल मुझे इस तरह रखा, like I had been with them throughout. So
Throughout
again,
your child's search.
the wasilas, and आपको जो opportunity मिलती है to become somebody's vessel on this earth, in this country, which is again going through its own turmoils. And like Hiba said, resources होना और resources create करना, उस resource create करने के लिए भी खवातीन जैसे आप तीनों बैठे हैं उनकी ज़रूरत है.
So, ladies, on that note, if I call all 3 of you light blazers in a very mysterious way. So, Hiba, starting with you. I know that you have 4 beautiful kids and they are of different ages and obviously different stages in their development. How has it been as a family unit, considering that they have a brother called Abdullah and they have a mother who's drama mama? How has it been navigating through the different stages of life with different children in their development?
It's our life is structured in a way, some by circumstance, some by design, that we're always together, all of us. So I know it must sound overwhelming, but it's not, because that's just what we're used to. So we homeschool, and my business runs from home, right? And my husband works. Like, we're all home all the time. So just having each other all around all the time has the beautiful benefit of being very intimate with each other's challenges and each other's gifts, right? So I think having his sisters be his biggest allies and his biggest critics, his biggest bullies, right, has really helped my son, because they don't let him get away with anything, because they also need that space, or the volume, if volume is bothering him, or if their games are irritating him. You know, at this age, he's at the age where everything irritates him. You know, typical teenage 14-year-old, like, and he tells me, I'm hormonal, don't you know? Right? He's very academic in how he speaks, and he's learned something in biology. He's like, I'm a teenager, it's normal for me to be hormonal. And so we're supposed to accept his hormones, which, of course, his sisters don't, right? So that, in that way, it's been, for him, I think it's been nice to have that bubble. And I know that this is something that is a very debated topic in the spectrum realm between parents, whether sheltering the kids is more important or exposing them to the real world and developing them on that side is more important. I think because obviously I'm also just forging my own path as I go. I don't know what's the right way or the wrong way. My personal belief system towards not just special needs kids but also all children, especially the sensitive type of children, has always been if you recognize that your child is sensitive or has some additional needs, yes, one school of thought is throw them in the deep end and then they'll either sink or swim, right? But there is another school of thought that says that certain flowers, certain plants, को आप greenhouse में रखें, controlled environment में, monitoring the temperature, the water, the heat, the exposure, and then they thrive, right? So that controlled environment is not because I'm a nervous, anxious mother and I just want to protect my. It's just because I think that's what he needs, and that's what many sensitive children need to step into themselves, right? And so that's the approach we've kind of taken as a family, because he's not the only one. I've got a couple of daughters who have, deep sensitivity. Just that's who they are as people. And it's really worked for us to have that home is your safe space. You get a lot of it, and then you're more equipped to go out into the world.
Yeah.
So that is on the children's side. As far as my work side, again, very lucky that my work revolves around children. Right, so it's just something I've been able to pull my kids into. So drama mama, theater productions, or Dear Muslim Kids. My children are part of the writing process and the acting process and the rehearsing process and behind the camera and in front of the camera. So I hope that kind of contributes to their schooling and their education and all that, life exposure. and also just something fun that they'll remember that as a family we made this beautiful thing. I really, really hope that one day they'll look back and they're like, hey, we made that together. So for us, it's really worked out. Inshallah, aage bhi achhe rahega.
How beautifully said. We made that together, and our mother was the center. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you know the way you explained it, his sisters don't just let him get away with things. That's
Oh, not
also
at
the
all.
kind of, a kind of agency that is developing in him, that not everything will be just handed to him, or
Siblings are the
he has
best
to strive for it.
rounding
Yeah.
the edges.
He
The
would-
siblings
he
such a
will
way.
have to hear no
Yeah.
in a lot of places,
Yeah.
and that does create a kind of navigational process within the child as well. But thank you for sharing that. So, Fawzia, if I come to you with that same question, and I know that you have two beautiful children, older kids than Taha. But how has it been raising all three of them together, and them having Taha as a younger brother? And I know a lot of. It's been a privilege being your friend for so many years. So I know a lot of story, but I'd like the world out there to hear it too. How you've actually brought the three of them together.
With us, the dynamics are really different than what Hiba has talked about, because Taha is the youngest. So he has two older siblings, Amin, and who is now 24, and Salva, who is 19. It's very interesting to see his relationship with each of his other siblings. With Amin, it's a little bit authoritative. Amin is authoritative, so Taha recognizes that, but at the same time shares a room with Amin. So there's this overlap of what Taha wants, what Amin wants, and Taha respecting that. It's great to see how he understands it intuitively. Because we struggle with that with our kids on the spectrum. We don't know how they're going to absorb from the environment, how it's going to make sense to them. And with Salva, it's a close sibling relationship, lots of love, lots of don't do this, don't do that. Your volume is too loud. Can you fix that? Can you go get me stuff? So she uses that privilege as well. It's great to have both of them interact with Taha beautifully. They love him so much, and in their own ways. So Amin is very protective of both of his siblings. But Taha more so, because if Salva is saying something like Taha ye kar do, wo kar do, Amin will step in and say, you cannot talk to him like that. And I'm just sitting on the sides wondering, twiddling my thumbs basically. What do I do? Do I say something? Do I don't say something? And then it's all three of them just resolve.
They work it out.
Yeah. They were like most siblings too. But we've always had, since they were very young, we've always had not a rule per se, but an understanding. We're not hiding Taha. He's not somebody we're going to hide. He's not somebody we're ashamed of. We love him to death. And Amin's and Salva's classmates would come and ask about Taha. And we talked about this in the house so that the kids would be prepared to tell everybody that he is on the spectrum. Yes, he's a little different, but what's so gratifying to see is the children and their friends brought Taha into their circle. They would stand around him, Taha would be mulling about, talking to one person, talking to the other person, as they do. They don't have, when he was younger, he didn't have enough attention. And they would accept that. And when he would run off, he'd run off. And it was okay. So the children learned to accept him with all his challenges and their friends around them as well. So it's a really great part of growing up and learning and respecting other people's differences. You don't have to be on the spectrum. People are different. Yeah. Let them live, let them grow. And it's really hard actually. Sometimes I struggle with some of it with not my own son, because uske liye to koi sab kuch is okay. But when I meet different people, then I have to say, it's okay for them to be different. It doesn't sit well with me, but that's alright. That's who they are. And they have the right to be that way. So you can see how Taha being in my life has raised me to be better.
And in return, I feel you've raised two independent human beings. And so many of their friends, because that was such a beautiful visual that all these children, they had acceptance for this beautiful child who had limited attention. And I wish the adults in our society who don't have that kind of acceptance could learn a lesson or two from these children, because I've always felt that children are more accepting of anything that they might find different in their environment than adults. Yeah.
There is where I would also really put it out there for our educationists, for our principals, teachers, people who run schools. Include these differently abled children, because they bring so much light and so much love and so much understanding to